Hello, I'm Gina Marie. Welcome to Sacred Spaces. We're here today at the Victorian Police Centre of Learning for Family Violence. I'm with Hao Lee. He's the architect of this project. Hao, tell us about this magnificent entrance.
Thanks, Gina. Being the first dedicated facility for such learning, we wanted to create a building with a very distinct identity. So the atrium is quite pivotal in bringing many aspects of the design together. Apart from being a prominent feature to assist with wayfinding, the atrium helps to divide the building into two wings. So on one side we've got the ancillary and amenities, and on the other side we've got education and training facilities. So one of the features of the atrium are the skylights, which we draw upon the familiarity of the police checkers to bring light into the atrium space.
Sounds great. Let's go and have a closer look, shall we? So what are the design features of this gorgeous atrium?
So as you can see, this is the main circulation point of the building. So we've made the stairs a central feature of this atrium, and it is the only boundary that separates the staff areas from the cadets areas on the ground floor.
Right.
And we strongly encourage the staff to use the stairs rather than the lift by keeping the lift tucked away.
Bit of exercise, yeah.
It is, but it's good for the environment.
Yeah, and a meeting point, is it? Or?
So yes, so what we're keen to do is to not just to use the atrium as a point of entry, but also to create opportunities for the staff and cadets to interact outside education and training. So it is a meeting place between the staff and cadets.
So being up here, you can really get a sense of the beauty from these skylights and the light that comes through. So the patterning, can you tell us about that? Yeah,
so the skylights are a subtle reference to the police checkers that you see in every police stations. And the shadows, we intend to get the shadows on the linkway, and that changes through the time of the day.
It's gorgeous. So can you tell us, what is your sacred space within this project?
Yeah, my sacred space will have to be the atrium.
Around here.
Because it is designed to be a place that you enter the building, but it also is a meeting place for interactions, and it also engages with the chapel across the road. Yeah, so this chapel was inherited from a seminary, which occupies the site from 1959 to 1972. And to this day, I believe it's still the heart of the academy. It is used for many important functions, occasions, and they have ceremonies, including funerals and weddings held in the chapel. So although this is not part of the brief, we were very keen to present a building that engages with the chapel. And so we scaled the building respectfully towards the chapel, and we wanted the users of the building to have views back towards the chapel.
Looks great. It's a beautiful vista. I'm sitting here with Kevin Casey, the Assistant Commissioner of the Victoria Police Academy. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you. So could you tell us why this centre was developed?
I think it's probably important to say straight off that police are responding to over 82,000 reports of family violence per year. Really equates to a police officer or a member of Victoria Police attending a family violence incident once every 6 minutes across the state. And that takes about 40 to 60% of our time in dealing with those matters. So it's been a significant issue that's been on the rise, and primarily because the community is now becoming more aware about the effort that we're putting into dealing with family violence matters.
And who decided to build the centre?
So interestingly, our former Chief Commissioner, Ken Lay, saw an opportunity because he was so invested and committed in how police respond to family violence. He wanted a centre of learning. So at the Police Academy we have centres of learning for detectives and road policing, and this was another hallmark of his legacy that he wanted to see come to fruition. At the same time, the Royal Commission into Family Violence also identified that the police could actually have a centre of learning as an ideal training base for our police. And the commitment to build is what we have now, a magnificent infrastructure that incorporates resources and extra training staff to train all our people from recruits right through their careers in Victoria Police on family violence matters.
So the show's called Sacred Spaces, and we'd like to know, what is your sacred space within the project?
So the Police Academy is located on a sacred site, acknowledging the traditional owners of the land, but also it's a spiritual home of Victoria Police, and the centrepiece of that spiritual home is the Victoria Police Academy Chapel, based on the site of which the Centre for Family Violence actually faces. So many people have a strong connection to the main Academy Chapel, whether it's graduations, sadly funerals, but also marriages and baptisms. So it has a lot of meaning to a lot of people in terms of the sanctity of what Victoria Police means to them.
I'm with Vanessa Brotto, the Senior Manager for the Centre of Learning for Family Violence. Hey Vanessa.
Hello, how are you?
Good, you?
I'm well, thank you.
So what do you actually do here?
The Centre for Family Violence has got a number of programs. We've got over 40 staff that work out of this building, but we also have a whole statewide service for family violence education. The main thing we are doing is enhancing police employee response to family violence. So we run a variety of different courses, and we run some of the programs here at the Academy in our new building, but we also run lots of programs in rural and regional Victoria as well. I think the main thing that we are trying to do here is to give people practical and usable skills, and so our education does look a bit different.
How is the learning different here?
So we're really trying to be evidence-based in how we teach family violence, and we're trying to be really engaging and innovative. The idea is that we want police who can respond to family violence in a way that's victim-centric. So we're trying to get police to really understand what's happening with the dynamics of family violence, but also to have practical strategies for how do we work with people in a really emotional and sometimes very, very dangerous type of environment. So a lot of our work is really centred about practical strategies, and that's where our new Family Violence Simulation Centre comes in.
Let's go and have a look at that.
That sounds good.
So this part is a replica of a family home. Can you tell us some of the design features you've used?
We've used a lot of educational psychology in the design. We work very closely with the architects and the designers and stylists to make it look like it could be a home anywhere in Victoria. So we have the driveway where we can have different situations that might play out in the driveway. We could have police members responding into the driveway. As you walk up and see the home, what you notice is it's quite a dark colour, and the idea is that when you come in through the door you can't see what's in there, and the idea is to try to have more anxiety being built for the students. This is the first Family Violence Simulation Centre in Australia, and the idea is to get practical responses but that also really engage the person's emotional response in a trauma-informed way. So we build anxiety through our scenarios, but also through our design. So when they actually get in there, it's far more realistic than what it would have if we just pretended it's a fake home.
Yes.
So as we go through, you'll notice that we've got the pavers where they are designed to draw your eye to look straight at the front door.
Yes.
And the whole yard is designed so that you will want to or police will want to rush straight to the front door, and we have to train police to overcome that and actually look at other things. So what we do is, as you come through here, you'll notice that you can't see around the corner. So we want police to be able to check the whole area. There might be other situations playing out or dangers in those areas. But the grass, you notice, we've actually designed to be sort of wet look grass. So using that whole psychology that most of us are conditioned to not want to step on wet grass, you've got the idea that your eye is drawn to the door, the pavers are directing you to the door, you don't want to step on wet grass, but you've also got windows that are tinted, so we can't actually see if someone is in there. And so we start having this anxiety building for police as to, do I go over there to check over there, or do I just go to the door because it is easier? So the idea is we're really trying to get people to work against their automatic impulses. A lot of the design in this area is about where we might have different situations. Today you might come in and it looks like it's a standard suburban apartment home. Next week you might come in and it might look like it belongs to a much older family, and it might have, or it might be someone who a wheelchair user, where we have different mobility aids in the area. We're also looking at using scent theatre, where you can come in and you're immediately struck by the smell of mildew, or it can also be other types of smells that we can use. So we do have to be really trauma informed with how we run these scenarios, but the idea is to make them high fidelity and quite realistic, so that police can develop safe and practical strategies to give the best possible response to victims of family violence.
It's a highly sensory experience, isn't it?
Very much so. And we've established a specialist team, a family violence simulation manager who is going to be managing all of our situations with this. Inside we've got other design features such as long curtains where we can hide people behind, lots of cupboards where we can have people coming in and out. We also use this space as an immersive classroom, so that when we're learning about things in a more traditional way, we can also be looking at the same time saying, well, what risks do you see, and look around you and what's in the kitchen and things like that. So we've really tried to maximise the use of the space, so it's not just used for our high fidelity simulation, it's also used to scaffold and reinforce a lot of the learning we're doing in more traditional types of programs.
It's great real life scenario training, isn't it? Amazing.
And as you know, family violence can be in a range of settings with a range of different perpetrators, and the idea is for us to teach police to be victim-centric and to manage our perpetrators well. And as you know, we have lots of different types. It could be elder abuse, we could be looking at sibling violence, we could be looking at intimate partner violence, we can be looking at different types of violence that involves our diverse groups in community. So it's really important to us that we are really representing our community, but it's also that it's not metrocentric. So we've designed it so we can have live feed that goes out across the whole state, and we can have police debriefing in the classroom next door. And it might be someone from Mildura who comments on, if this situation had happened in Mildura today, this is what may have transpired. We might have someone else on the live feed that says, if this, someone might be one of my team members in Morwell or in Warrnambool. So we can really bring the rural regional perspectives into the scenarios, even though we're based in metropolitan Melbourne.
So your passion with this area, am I safe to assume that this would be your sacred space, Vanessa?
I think that's a safe bet. I think the Family Violence Simulation Centre is the culmination of years of hard work and really thinking outside the box to try to find an education a strategy that is going to best equip police to deal positively with victims and manage family violence.
It was a brilliant job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tracy Nichols?
Yes, I am. I'm the manager of the Simulation Centre here. Come on through.
Thank you. Wow, it's a big space. What do you actually do here, Tracy?
So this is an immersive classroom as well as an immersive simulation centre. It's a state-of-the-art, purpose-built facility. We use this space predominantly for training recruits and members in using immersive simulation techniques. And by that, we mean we actually have live role players, actors, come into this environment and they portray different characters of affected family members and perpetrators of family violence. And our training police officers and our sworn members have the opportunity to practice in what is a safe and supported learning environment some of the encounters that they may face in a real family violence incident, which is better preparing them for workforce related policing matters.
Well, it looks like a standard home.
Yes, I'll show you around. So we have an open plan studio apartment, which is very useful to create lots of different environments. As you saw at the front, we also have a front garden section of the house, and we can actually have concurrent simulations running in different parts of this house. That we can have recruits working in an environment out there. We can have scenarios acting out there and also involving the driveway, with a vision in the future that we might be able to combine services and have Ambulance Victoria actually working with police with the family violence incidents that may be playing out in a carport, for example. And then we have this simulated area where we can create lots of different environments to suit what types of actors and what types of scenario we're wanting to portray.
So Tracy, what would your sacred space in this project be?
Definitely this house, having an extensive background in healthcare simulation, I'm very passionate about creating a realistic environment and opportunity for people to practice essential skills in what is a really, really important space. So for me, I'm investing a lot of my energies and a lot of my passion into creating this space as meaningful and as realistic as we possibly can.
Thank you. You've been watching Sacred Spaces. I'm Gina Marie. See you next time.